Hello, welcome back. Another episode of the Rivalry Kept Show. I'm your host, Brian. We're here to talk Gentlemen's Club football all day, all the time, guys. And we are now week 8 completed. I should have mentioned this last week. After week 7 was completed, guys, we are officially in the money. I don't think any of those COVID money rules that we discussed at the draft can come into play. I see the NFL already planning out the Super Bowl, guys. We're finishing this NFL season, and it is a great sight. A lot of the COVID amongst AKA the Titans has calmed down, and I'm just excited that it looks like we're going to get ourselves a full season, guys, and what a tight one in the Gentlemen's Club it is this year, guys. I mean, I gotta look at this before I dive into the matchups. I'm just going to run through the standings real quick because we got 5-2-1 Sedano, 3-5-3 guys. That means Weston pulled out that win against Lynch last night. 4-3-1 Jones, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 4-4 guys, 2 3-5s, and then in the dust, down at the bottom, 1-7 Eric Olson, guys. I mean, we got 13 guys alive after 8 weeks, and I don't really see that number shrinking anytime soon, unless Lynch and I fall into the pits of the Olson. But hey, we're gonna dive into the matchups, guys. And hey, last week I was all mad, all pissy that all you fucks were winning games with 80 points, 90 points, and hey, here am I, 91 points to 85.8 to Jones, and I sneak away with a win. Feels good to have something finally go my way in fantasy this year, and it took my worst week to do it. So I don't know what that says, but we're happy with a win. And let's talk through some of my guys. I mean, Russell Wilson, always 28.7, absolute machine. Other side, Lamar, 14.8. That was the big match with the quarterbacks between Jones and I. Zach Moss was a great start, 20 points. He's looking, while Singletary was still getting carries in that game, I mean, Moss got the touchdowns, and he's a bigger body, and he's getting those goal line carries. So it's that's good for Jones because he, like most of us, it's been a running back mess. My running backs, the Chiefs, I started them against the Jets. I thought maybe this would be the time that I actually could start 2 Chiefs running backs against the Jets, but like their offense wasn't even on the field for that long. It was like they just blow everybody out. Mahomes has 5 passing touchdowns. Like, who gives a shit about the running game? They both have less than 7 points. Not great. Amari Cooper, 1.5 points. Not great. Curtis Samuel, though, 21.4 on Thursday night. Really saved my matchup versus Jones. Calvin Ridley, 7.2, leaving the game. That I think was the difference maker in the matchup. Was that Thursday night flex start from Curtis Samuel. I offered him to Tony before the game. I offered him for Jerick McKinnon. I don't even know what McKinnon put up, so I'll get to that later in the episode. Tony said that sounds like a fun trade, but I'll pass on that for now. And he had 21 points on Thursday night. So guys, I'll take a win where I can get it. Those are far and few between. And also, how the hell has Raquel Armstead been on Jones's COVID spot? How does he still have COVID? What's going on down there in Jacksonville? I doubt that guy even plays at all this year. That was a lot to talk about in my matchup, guys. We're on to the next one, guys. And we have Sklar versus Joe, 120-92. Not a good week out of Joe, but he would have beaten me. He started 3 Dolphins, and he gets a combined, 15 points? That's horrible. That's real bad. I mean, their defense was the ones doing great in that game. I mean, the Dolphins look good. Like, fucking hell. If that's what it takes for the Jets to just completely blow up the team and restart with someone hopefully other than Gase, I mean. But yeah, I mean, you got 28 out of Woods. You got 18 out of the Steelers. Was that 18? Yeah, 18 out of the Steelers defense, and that's pretty good, but everything else was pretty trash. Other side, Sklar, 40 points out of DK Metcalf. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't Lockett because I was versing Lockett with Jones. If he had any even close to a repeat of last week, I would have been just fucked, but I'm glad it was DK this week. Sklar, you pull a nice win, 5-3, moving up the standings. And yeah, just overall pretty solid win. I mean, 120 points right now seems to be good because we've had some slow weeks for fantasy, guys. Some really low scores that I'm just not used to seeing. Next matchup, guys, we got Eric versus Tony. Tony, 127. Was he the high scorer of the week? No, he was not. Wow, Mr. Rast. We'll get to Mr. Rast in a few minutes. But, guys, Tony, 127-83. Excellent week. Trade seemed to be working out. I mean, he traded away Mahomes, who had a beast of a week, and his filler, Carson Wentz, looked like ass. I mean, Carson Wentz just looks like ass. I don't know. I thought he might figure it out, but it might be Jalen Hurts time before we know it. But anyway, Jalen Hurts came out for, one play in that game and delay a game, and then they just took him out. I don't know if he got in again after that, but that's unfortunate. Anyway, Brandon Ayuk, though, we're all shitting on Tony. 23 points, guys. Eric Ebron, 14. 23 out of the Dolphins' defense was the highlight of Tony's week. Him and Ayuk. I mean, Tony hypes up Gio Bernard so much and then doesn't even start him. But hey, I mean, So far, Kareem Hunt and Ayuk for Hopkins, at least working out in the short term, as Hopkins was on bye this week. Tony probably would have won regardless, as Eric's team is just throwing up 83-point stinkers left and right. Eric, I got you next week. Can't wait for a 65-64 battle. Going to be a lot of fun. And without further ado, we're going to go to the next matchup, guys. Ortiz versus Lamb, two of the stronger teams in this league, 119 to 111. Ortiz, I mean, puts up a nice performance. Kamara, Rodgers, Keenan Allen, Kupp all over 20 points. You'll love to see that. Josh Kelly not panning out to the fantasy value that we all thought he had. I mean, I think Ortiz must have 5 or 6 different offers for Josh Kelly 3 weeks ago. I can't imagine he's really getting any now, especially with Eckler probably coming back in like a week or two. He definitely missed the ball there. But he flexes Greg Ward, and he gets him the 4 points. He was nervous because Lamb had Bart Scott in that Sunday night game, but he only gets 10. Lamb's team, I mean, 111 is not bad, especially as I said, it's been slow weeks. So, like, anything over like 110 at this point is considered, I guess, serviceable or good. Travis Kelce, 25. Justin Jackson, 17 points. I mean, that's the Chargers running back who's eating. The Chargers running back who is eating. But yeah, I mean, Kevin takes a loss here, but hey, guys, I mean, look at Kevin's bench. DeAndre Hopkins on bye. Carlos Hyde was out. Well, fucking gives a shit about Carlos Hyde. Chris Carson was out, but yes, Carlos Hyde was also out. Michael Thomas was out. AB still suspended. Kevin Lamb sitting at 4-4, right in the thick of it with the rest of us, and he's probably gonna just skyrocket, at least in an ideal world for him. But the guys, next matchup, and this was probably the stinker of the week. Weston versus Lynch, 86 to 74. I guess, I mean, it was like 54 to 46 going into last night's game. So let's see. I guess Mike got some points out of his guys. He got 16.5 out of Mike Evans. He got 13 out of Wayne Gallman. I saw that he swapped Wayne Gallman for CeeDee Lamb late in the window on Sunday. Worked out. Gallman got 5 more points than CeeDee Lamb. Sits Naheem Hines, guys. He started Jonathan Taylor, who I see a questionable designation. I'm going to assume he left the game. I just thought it was a blowout that they weren't playing him, but maybe he actually got hurt. Puts up 5. Naheem Hines puts up 21 on the bench. He had 2 touchdowns. Probably the most athletic celebration I've ever seen. I was watching the game with Carl, actually, and his sister's into gymnastics, and he was throwing out all these terms as to what the fuck Naheem Hines just did. And I got to say, it was fucking impressive, especially in pads. Like, are you kidding me? Anyway, besides the point. Jordan Wilkins in the waiver pool got like 20 points for the Colts. So the head case of the Weston handcuff running backs didn't work out for him this week. Because, guys, I don't know if anyone's noticed this, and I'm pointing this out to a few members of the league. Weston's got 2 Steelers, 2 Colts, and 2 Giants running backs. He's the ultimate handcuffer. He doesn't want to get fucked if one of his guys gets hurt. A lot of these running backs that he has do have a little bit of injury history. So, I mean, he's playing it safe, but I don't know. I mean, he gets a win here because he was playing 74-point Lynch. I really have nothing to say on Lynch's team. I feel like I've said it all throughout the season. It's pretty bad. He's got no star power left. And yeah, 74 points is the result of that, guys. But yet, I'm only one place ahead of him. So, what do you know, guys? And we're moving on to the next matchup. And it's Mr. Rass, the high scorer of the week, 137.94, off of an absolutely insane 48.6 point performance off of Dalvin Cook, guys. I mean, wow. Dalvin Cook's a stud. Rass knows that. Rass didn't trade him. I know he probably had multiple offers. I'll tell you, I made him a horrible offer. I was really trying to rip him off. And John came back at me saying that he was disappointed in me, saying as a friend that wants to see you succeed, if you're offering trades like that, you just sound desperate. I think that was just why he made that safe space submission to Joe last week about like the worst trade hasn't happened yet because he thinks that I'm in a mindset of going to make really bad trades or something. But John, I gotta say, I was just trying to rip you off. I mean, sometimes you gotta just try. I didn't get on the Rash train last year. I still haven't been on the Rash train for trades this year. And I was trying to get on it in a really shitty way. But hey, Dalvin Cook's a beast. Glad you held on to him. I mean, if you wanted to trade him now, you could probably get the world. But 137 is excellent. Other side 109, not so bad from Christian, but I think Christian's a star away. I think he's got to make a trade or something. I mean, he does have solid guys. Corey Davis on the bench with 26.8 points. I mean, and when you look at Christian's roster top to bottom, it looks solid. It looks good. It's a nice lineup, and that propelled him through 4 wins early in the season. But he's on a 4-game losing streak now, guys. It's hard to when you're 4-0 to try and trade off your guys and get the value when it's there. But I'm just seeing a lot of average. I mean, he's getting hit with the Cowboys. Hurts. Zeke's not really doing much because everyone knows they're just trying to run the ball. I mean, I'm getting hurt with Amari Cooper, but Devin Singletary. Eric called it from the beginning that it was going to be Zach Moss by the end of the season, and it's really, really getting there. I mean, Devin Singletary had 86 rushing yards. I mean, Zach Moss just got the touchdowns, but like they're clearly using both a lot. Unfortunate for Eric that he had to drop Moss due to just a horrible roster when he was trying to make some moves. But yeah, 137 to 109, guys. Nice win for Mr. Rast. He's one of the 4-4s, so it's Christian, guys, and we're in for a hell of a season, guys. We got, what, week 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 5 weeks left of regular season. And, guys, to end it off, the last matchup was the closest matchup, I believe, of the season with a .54 point differential, 106.98 to 106.44. Sedano over Charlie. I was watching the game with Charlie as well as he was down here visiting Matty Myers, and he was just so hyped. He's like, I'm going to win. I'm going to end up in first place after my points 4, and I'll be 5-3, and yada, yada. He was doing all this stuff in his head, and he's telling us he's going to be in first place. He watched Mahomes drop 36 on the Jets. He left after the 1 o'clock games. Oh, my God, Jamal Williams out. Wow, I did not see that. We were watching the Packers game, too. 18 points after he went out, but... yeah, Sedano really just edges him out with Travis Fulgham on Sunday night with 19.8. I mean, that's just really just as close as it gets, and Charlie probably felt pretty good versus Travis Fulgham. I mean, that guy's been great, though. He's had like 10 targets the last 4 weeks or something like that, so good pickup for Johnny. And I saw Johnny's text this morning. It was like Keelan Cole, Christian Kirk, Travis Fulgham, Damian Harris on the... And is that really where we're at in the season, guys? I mean, tossing around names like that, and yeah, we probably are, because some of our teams fucking blow. And Sedano's got all these waiver wire receivers that might be turning out. I don't know. But he's trying to capitalize where he can, and I understand that. He's sitting in first place alone. That draw is really just going to help him and Jones in the standings. I don't think it's going to end up hurting either one. He's sitting above the 5-3 teams. And yeah, I mean, Sedano's got to be feeling good about his team, especially after he had 4 guys on bye last week and Eckler's still hurt, including Kyler Murray was on bye, and he still gets a win. So, great win for Sedano. He's sitting at 5-2-1. Charlie 4-4, guys. This is one of the longest I've done it. Maybe I was a little slow. I've been a little off the last few days, but without further ado, guys, we're gonna send it over to Joe. I hope you guys have a great week of work and are just settling into the race for the playoffs, guys. I can't wait. Still a few more weeks before we get some Matt Lynch Beyond the Buys action, because it's the name of the show, Beyond the Buys. So that'll start after the regular season's over. And yeah, let's send it to Joe. Let's hope we got some submissions. I know I submitted very minimal, but you know, been a little off. But anyway, guys, send it to Joe. Thank you. Enjoy your week. Whoa, I almost forgot, guys. I had a special data request this week. While our big data analytics department is non-existent, I am open to taking requests as long as they're reasonable. The only unreasonable request I've received so far was Ortiz asked me to check on which team who has historically had the worst injury luck. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds fucking awful to dig through and a lot of unnecessary work because he thinks it's him. So if he wants to do that, I'll let him. But anyway, guys, Christian Borelli made this request. He apparently Sedano's been talking a lot of shit to them. I'm surprised because, I mean, they haven't played each other since week 2 this season, but apparently Johnny's feeling himself down in Delray, telling us we should all come down there and go to these sweaty clubs and all get COVID. I don't know. Hopefully you don't get it, John. But so I took a dive into Christian versus Johnny's history. These guys have met 7 times over our 5-year history. They played each other twice in year 1 in the regular season, because that was when we only had 12 guys, so a few people played each other twice. And then in year 2, they met in the regular season and in the championship. I believe it was year 2. And guys, I mean, I don't know what kind of steam's up Sedano's ass right now, but it's not even fucking close. Christian has the series 5-2. 5 wins to 2 wins. Sedano's only 2 wins came in year 1. He hasn't beat Christian in almost 5 years. Okay? So, Christian, take that to the bank with you. I'm glad you asked me to do this because I love doing these. And the average score was 134.8 to 115.02. John, it's not even close. Christian owns you. I didn't know he was your papa, but, I mean, he beat you in a championship, and other than year 1, which was our 12-man year, and some people might even say it, we don't even count that seriously, which we still should. But anyway, I don't know what else to say. Christian, I'm glad you asked me to do this, and it's looking great for you. So now we'll go to Joe, guys. Thank you. Enjoy your week.
Thank you, Marsh and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Safe Space. Big news, we have a new candle. The Santa Fe is the flavor I got. I looked up fun facts about Santa Fe. The state question in Santa Fe, which doesn't make sense to me because it's not a state, but the city question, I guess, is red or green, and that refers to chili. Let's get started this week's episode. All right, we're kicking off on how we always kick off. We'll kick off a little best team, a little worst team action. And once again, for I don't know how many times this season, but once again, we have a new best team. And that best team is no one. Believe it or not, the consensus best team vote was NA, no one, I don't know, don't think there's a best team. And I think that's spot on, guys. So credit to the league for consensusly thinking outside the box. Early. I haven't checked the standings this morning. I did one of those things where you lose a couple weeks and you fucking dip low. I don't want to see my team. I'm very angry at my team, so I haven't looked it up. I probably want to open up the NFL app until tonight when I have to put in waivers. But I expect there to be a cluster with teams probably 1 through 10, 12 being all kind of around 4-4, slightly above 4-4. I don't know, man. You look at the teams. Johnny's at the top of the standings. We have a couple other teams at the top of the standings. I don't think any team particularly looks awesome. Kevin, with his last few trades, definitely has the potential to get there. He's compiled, 3 first-round picks. Awesome trades by him. And it reminds me a lot of my team last year, right? Like, you kind of go all in with these 2-for-1, 3-for-1 trades and build this star lineup, but you sacrifice his depth. And what happened to me last year is in the playoffs, injuries caught up to me. I had no depth and I lost. It's week 8. We have a long way to go. We'll see if Kevin could, kind of fight off the injury bug and get lucky here for a whole half a season. If so, you would think he's going to take the best team, but we'll see. Worst team is, it's been back and forth between Eric and Lynch and Eric and Lynch and Eric and Lynch, and this week it's Lynch. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just not your year. Whenever you pick Leonard Fournette in the second round, Brian Hill might be better than Todd Gurley, so if anyone is interested, you have my number. But yeah, we'll get on to the other poll questions because they were a lot better than best team, worst team this week. All right, to the polls. It is election day. So I was curious what you guys do on your football Sundays. Everyone, generally watches Red Zone, sits on the couch, whatever, but I did pick a few that I felt were a little unique. Spencer. I wake up usually hungover and head over to the command center, start working on my bets. I'll go downstairs around 11:45, grab my egg sandwich from the bagel store that someone in my family bought me. I head back to the command center to make sure I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's on my fantasy, bets, etc. so I can make it to the den by 1 p.m. to sit like a sack of shit for 6 hours. I usually flip between Red Zone and the Jets game, and then just go to Red Zone for the 4 p.m. games, watch Sunday Night Football from my bed, and pass out. I bet it's a plain bagel, Sklar. Christian, wake up angrily hungover, go sit on my couch, take an edible, don't move for the next 12 hours while watching Red Zone. Kevin Lamb, wake up, make 10-12 waiver wire moves, change my mind, make 6 or 8 more, answer emails, speaking of which I just got one, catch up on more, make another waiver wire move, on the couch at 12:30, order food and make something, check my lineup, regret, back to the waiver wire, happiness, regret, nerves, fall asleep, happy or upset, and have anxious dreams about my team. Weston, wake up, watch soccer. Eric, does med study flashcards while he watches Red Zone. Tony, wake up hungover, look at my phone for an hour, jerk off, watch Barstool Sports Advisor, smoke a bowl, take 1 hour to decide what I'm going to pick out on, order enough food for 3 people, smoke some more food, then in and out of sleep with a constant layer of sweat. As for me, it is a little different because football does start at 10 a.m. I usually wake up and run because I'm like fucking too antsy. 10 a.m. is like the worst spot because it's hard to wake up and not do anything and just sit there and wait. So usually wake up, run, watch the 10 a.m. games, get very angry about my team. Don't watch the 1 p.m. games, which is the 4 p.m. games back east, because I have to do like my errands, like grocery shop and shit. And I'll usually watch Sunday Night Football in the background of making dinner or something. There you have it. Alright, awful idea to film this during a work day. Regardless, I asked you guys to compare your relationship with your team to a relationship with a girl. And I thought you guys did a really good job, so let's read off some of the responses. Johnny Sedano, sex semester junior year. Was concerned I wouldn't get laid all semester after the first few weeks. Then bang, something clicked, something shifted in me. I couldn't do anything wrong. It was a new piece of ass every weekend. Same thing with my team. Something new pops up every week and takes me home. It's sick. When it rains, it pours. James Ortiz. I'm getting ass, steady action, like back in college. James, I'm not sure that counts when you had a girlfriend off college. Nonetheless. Matthew Lynch. My team is just like Allie Mack because I never know what they're going to do next. Charlie. My team is the girl you always convince yourself that if you just stick with her long enough, she'll change into the girl that you've always been looking for. But deep down, you know she has too many problems, even though you're always holding out hope that one day she'll be great. Deep. Weston. Long marriage that started out bright and spicy, but now the spark is gone and the sex only happens on birthdays. Missionary only. Ras, my team is a girl that is the girl that's one of the dudes. Other girls don't like her, and you don't think she's attractive. But then, like that one time, she wears a nice outfit, and you're like, maybe. Eric can only get laid with a Cleveland steamer. And Tony. My team was beautiful in high school, had all the makings of a wife-to-be. Then things changed and started going to shit. Instead of finding a new girl, though, I decided to change everything about her and love her again. New ass, new boobs, new lips. The only constant is that WAP, and that WAP is Hunter Renfro. Good responses. My team, I think my team's like the butt girl. And not like the butt like your ass, like the butt like, oh yeah, she's great, but I heard she stabbed her ex-boyfriend. Or, oh, she's great, but she like fucked the whole freshman hall my freshman year. And it's like, yeah, like my team's great, but fucking Kill's out and fucking Godwin's out and Mostert. And the thing is, you'll never get rid of those butts. She'll never turn from what you thought she could be without that checkered past. And it's always there. It's always there. And my team's... Moving on. All right, our only safe space read this week is going to be Tony's because he sent me a message so long and it took me so long to type that I don't want to type anymore. Deep breath. Here we go. Tony. Everyone can eat my ass. All the fantasy experts want to chime in after I offer them Hopkins, and all they want to offer in return are McDonald's burgers that have been left out for 2 days and a bowl of dog food. I go out there and I get a top 5 RB. Ayuk goes off for 23, and no one will want to mention that I also picked up the Dolphins D for another 23. At the time of this submission, I have the most points in the league for this week, and I'm right back in the playoff mix. First time I've ever actually liked my team at this point in the year, and it's the most amount of effort I've put into this league. Anyone want to mention my GM abilities? The only person I started this week that I drafted was Hunter Renfro. Scoring Christian, how'd the players you offered me do this week? All bums. Joe, I wanted to chirp you and say you would have won if you had Gio Bernard like I offered, but even he couldn't help you. This next sentence, Tony asked me to read like that SpongeBob meme that has the uppercase and lowercase letters. He's like this. I'm a douchebag and I know more than Field Yates about fantasy. All right, so end that. And Tony said, that's all of us. Let's clap up for Tony. In 4 years, his first highlight in this league is a Week 7 victory. Week 8, actually. Congrats. It was inevitable. All right, gentlemen. Have a great week.